a two-wheeler. And one of my friend asked, why don't you buy a car? I said, my current salary doesn't support a car. So I need to do something different to buy a car. Buying a car, I could, but affording petrol in it, I felt the current salary doesn't support. So this is how I decided to do B schooling. And I joined the IT sector as a technical marketing expert. What is my biggest regret in engineering? If you ask me, I didn't propose a girl.
I was just about to ask this, but
No. I am from engineering and instrumentation background, so there was no question of going to the phase of proposing a girl. Be like Elon Musk and don't be like Bhavish Agarwal.
Okay.
What does this mean? आपके सवाल के पास जाता हूं मैं कि अर्निंग पे फोकस करना या लर्निंग पे. ओके, इलॉन मस्क ने लर्निंग पे फोकस किया है. His Tesla cars, his Hyperloop, anything and everything which he gets out, everybody is excited about it. Between 11 to 9, how much dedicated are you to work? Are you taking 3 lunch breaks and 5 tea breaks and 7 sutta breaks? Are you talking with your girlfriend or boyfriend for 3 hours during the break? And then at 9 p.m. when your manager says, can you do this today? You haven't completed a task. You spend 3 more hours and then you write, oh, my manager is making me work 15 hours or 16 hours. Dedicatedly focus 9 hours of efforts. When I say 9 hours means out of that, actually you can only spend 5 to 6 hours of focus efforts and the rest 2-3 hours to communicate, to understand things. So 9 hours of dedicated work is important. That's the attitude with which you come. Like वाइफ ने शादी होने के बाद देखा, अरे तुमने तो सैलरी इतना बोला था बट घर में तो बहुत कम आता है. I said that's the magic of CTC. and I had education loan also, तो वो और भी कम हो रहा था. So I did have in my back of the mind that I need to do switch. And then came the interview round. So this is where what I want to tell the current students or the professionals who want to switch stream is that if you want to make a switch, you need to prepare. You just can't rely that I am already working in marketing and sales. Why the hell do I need any preparation? That doesn't happen. You need dedicated time to study and prepare for anything. So this is where, Sachin, going back to your question, that how do you learn? How do you study? Because when you are in 2-3 years in company, you forget doing mental exercise for your mind. You don't try to close your eyes and remember what was the entire slide deck content, because you feel, oh, everything is in the deck. Why do I have to stress my brain? So most of the working professionals avoid this, and with time, the brain's ability to, or mind's ability to recall things, to learn things goes away. Logically, what are your strengths? And where can your current expertise be extended further? You're a good batsman who is hitting 4 and 6s. Don't start becoming a spin bowler from tomorrow. You will be miserable as a spin bowler and you will, lose also. Your team will lose because of it. So batsman में 4-6 मार रहे हो, how can you become better and maybe become a better fielder, because वो थोड़ा complementary field है. Bowling is a totally different. So that's the one advice which I'll give, that logically think package is secondary. When I moved from KP e-Infochips, my package between e-Infochips and ZS did not increase a lot. It was just 15% hike. I didn't get the dream package which was told in my B school by ZS, because that time they were doing campus placement and there was long range performance bonuses, all that attached. While when I was making a switch, it was a lateral switch. So package became very secondary. What I saw is that I am currently into a support role and ZS was offering me a project role wherein I was going to directly work on a project delivering things for the client, SQL programming. I will ask you 5 questions on that, and each question will be built on the first one. And can you answer those 5 questions? Like the way we have 5 W's: why, who, how, when. If you can answer those questions, that means you have some good expertise, and those are the candidates who are selected quickly. Problem is that of course, freshers will write SQL, Tableau, data analytics, R, Python, all the tools which are available in the world, they put it in their shop, which is a resume. But when any question is asked, they don't have any knowledge. They just have superficial knowledge. So my advice to each one of them is, yes, you learn everything, have that breadth, because you never know where it will be more, which one will be further asked for. But in one or two tools which are currently going very well in the market, like SQL and Python, I'll say, or Excel, these three tools, out of this, in like either SQL or Python and Excel, you need to have so depth, that five why type of questions you should be able to answer.
Welcome back to our another episode of Beyond the Ranks. So today I have a very special guest with us, Mr. Vivek Rathod sir. So hi sir, so good to have you, and it's our honor to have you on our podcast. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good.
Yeah. So sir, let me set the agenda behind our today's podcast. So Mr. Vivek Rathod sir, he is working as a director at Eversana Consulting. So we will be understanding his academic background, his professional journey, and how about his current role. And we will be taking we will be dividing this podcast in two phases. First would be we will be sharing his journey before he came into consulting, and his journey has been into two parts, like in the operations part and in the management part.
Sure, Lavin. Thank you. So, Lavin, thank you. As you said, I have made a switch from a different background to consulting. And how that started, I'll go back till my 11th standard, which was in 2001. I consciously dropped biology, wherein in Maharashtra you have physics, chemistry, maths, and biology. I dropped it because I wanted to be engineer. And engineer means, why the hell do you need biology? So I was like, let it go off. And I had computer science. So after that, I got into engineering. After my 12th, I did my graduation in 2007. And that time, IT sector was booming. Most of my colleagues, they joined IT, but I said, no, I want to join core manufacturing company. That's where I got into Larsen and Toubro, wherein I was doing oil and gas platforms. And these were real things which were developed in front of your eyes: welding, fabrication, installation of different heavy machinery. All that was going on. I loved the job. However, somewhere at the end of the year, when our CEO, AM Naik, he used to announce that, hey, this year we got this much profit. And each year the saying was, our profits are lower as compared to last, because we are spending in dollars and we are earning in rupees. What that means is, to get control systems, to get heavy machinery, all those were imported. And for that, dollars were going away, while our customers were from India, wherein we were getting paid in rupees. So the difference of dollar to rupee conversion was hitting hard. And second is, somewhere the manufacturing working style, which is from morning 8 a.m. till evening 6 p.m., somehow it didn't go well with me. It's my personal opinion. And this is where I thought I need to move to IT sector.
Okay.
Because during my engineering college, this was there wherein all my friends were going, and they were out of India. They were doing cool job. That's what I thought. And hence I decided to move out. I applied in Infosys, but Infosys said, hey, we need SAP expert, and you are just manufacturing guy. So I asked friends what to do. They said, do MBA. And hence in 2011, I took admission for my MBA, wherein it was from Chennai, 1 year MBA. I consciously decided 1 year MBA because investing 2 years after 4 years of working seemed very hard economically for me.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So 1 year MBA, and immediately got placed. But one change over here. When I joined MBA, my sole focus was getting into IT sector. When I say
Okay.
IT sector, means not doing coding or development, but being a part of being a manufacturing functional expert in IT. And
Okay.
incidentally, I got into KPIT, and that's where my second phase of journey began, wherein from Monday to Saturday, I started working Monday to Friday. And weekends were a bliss. 2 days off. Even during my schooling, this was not there. I loved it. And the job was into technical marketing, wherein I had to develop presentations, understanding what the project was, and then converting
Mhm,
into 2 or 3 slide case studies, making brochures, making collaterals. This is how my post MBA journey started. And of course, in the coming phase of the podcast, we can further deep dive. But this is how my engineering. And after
mhm,
engineering, I loved doing project management in L&T. I loved the job, but then somewhere I felt from a future perspective, like I was again a joke. I used to have a two-wheeler, and one of my
mhm.
friend asked, "Why don't you buy a car?" I said, "My current salary doesn't support a car, so I need to do something different to buy a car. Buying a car, I could, but affording
Mhm.
petrol in it, I felt the current salary doesn't support. So this is how I decided to do B schooling, and I joined the IT sector as a technical marketing expert.
Okay, great, sir, great. So sir, like moving on. So like because you are like when I was understanding your job profile and understanding, and I was just analyzing your LinkedIn profile as well. So I found that few years back you completed your diploma in the 2 years diploma in the in the pharma 2 years pharma diploma, I believe. And so like we should discuss like what do you suggest, like because the audience who are viewing our podcast, so whether they should understand your like prior to pharma journey first, or we should be focusing on the pharma journey first and then we will be taking it ahead. So what do you suggest,
Yeah,
sir?
it's like knowing Neeraj Chopra before the first gold medal which he got. So my diploma in pharmacy is like after the gold medal which I got, which was getting entry into ZS Consulting. So yeah,
Mhm.
we'll come to that in the coming phase
Great,
of
great.
questions.
Great. So, sir, one question that is coming. This is not like again, like this is off, off the technical question, non-technical question. I'm going to ask, like, what do you suggest, like, if any graduate, okay, who is getting stuck right now in their career path, and he is, right now pursuing his graduation or post graduation, let's say, irrespective of the pharma industry, like general like what type of advice or success mantra would you suggest to our viewers who are viewing this podcast, that what is how one can gain clarity in their career, and how with the AI advancement coming in and all the technological advancements going around the world, so how one can what particular skill set one can possess, and how to pick the right career path and the right
Yeah,
trajectory.
sure. So Lavin, again, I'll go back to my engineering days. What is my biggest regret in engineering? If you ask
Mhm.
me,
Yeah.
I didn't propose a girl.
I was just about to ask this, but yeah.
I am from engineering and instrumentation background, so there was no question of going to the phase of proposing a girl. So
Okay.
my biggest regret during engineering was that my last year project was driving a Splendor engine with hydrogen gas,
Okay.
and we did get college funding also for it, and we developed that project. But the
Mm-hmm.
biggest regret was I did that project as a project management guy, and I didn't do it as a developer. There were three
Okay.
other friends of mine. One of them was doing the coding for the solenoid valve to work, so when to ingest hydrogen in the engine and when not. There was other person who was actually doing the fabrication work to develop the electrolysis kit. I was also
Mm-hmm.
contributing to that, but it was more from a management, yeah, whenever required. But the key processing was done by the other folks. So, one advice which I'll give to all the students who are currently doing their graduation or post graduation is
Mm-hmm.
do one project which will help you, for which you can find paying customer, at least one paying customer.
Okay.
So, unless you don't get that, that means what efforts you are putting is not worth putting the efforts, or you are not at all putting the efforts. So develop one project out of your academics or out of your syllabus, which will actually go out in the market and somebody will pay for it. So let's
Okay.
take an example. If I am a computer science graduate, can I make a small app, mobile app, which will use ChatGPT? And in that, if I load any PDF, let's say I load a fourth year, last year engineering textbook related to applied mechanics. That's the first year subject, sorry. If I
Uh-huh.
load applied mechanics textbook, and if I ask any question, ChatGPT should answer question only from that textbook.
Okay.
How good that is, because then my learning will be much better, my learning will
Yeah.
be much easier. I'm just making it up. So like this, can each one of you develop a project like this for which you can find end paying customer? Or if you're
Uh-huh.
from the biology field or from life sciences field,
Uh-huh.
can you develop an app or a mobile app which will help interpret x-ray results? Use
Uh-huh.
generative AI, but can it happen? Or
Hmm.
interpretation of blood tests, can you do that? So that's my sole advice. Don't don't just study subjects, get expertise in one subject.
Okay. Great. Sir, like my follow-up question would be that you suggested in the start of the podcast that you wanted to move into the IT sector. That's why you decided just after your BTech you decided to pursue your MBA for 1 year. So like how was this transition like coming from pursuing instrumentation in during bachelor's and now pursuing after pursuing MBA. So how was this transition? Coming out to the manufacturing and coming to the IT sector. So could you explain your journey during this phase?
Yeah. So my journey, now after looking back for a decade or 1.5 decade, it looks very simple and straightforward, but it was not. When I was in L&T, I spent 3 years over there and I was not promoted. So one day I was so angry on my manager, I said, hey, get lost, I'm resigning. I didn't
Hmm.
have anything in my hand. I resigned. This was in 2010. And I said, I'll do GMAT and I'll score 750, which is out of 800, and I'll get into ISB. That was my
Okay.
dream. And I just resigned.
Hmm.
In June, I had resigned. July, August, September, I studied for 3 months. And prior to that, also, I was studying. And I also had joined classes during these 3 months. Guess what my GMAT score came out to be? 650.
Oh.
So, and score was less. ISB wouldn't even have entertained my application at the gate itself. Maybe security guy would have threw it out because 650 score. So after that, for 4 to 5 months, I was just sitting at home wondering, what the hell do I do? I tried applying back in L&T. They said, sorry, we don't have openings. They were more subtle than saying, get lost, don't come back to us. So what to do? And then in January month, one of my friends said, why don't you do MBA from Singapore? And I said, okay, why not? I'll apply. I applied there because the fees were like, overall expenses came around 25 lakhs, under 25 lakhs. So I said, why not? And that time I saw one college, Great Lake Institute of Management, Chennai, and their application was still open, which was
Mhm.
Jan 15. So that's why
Okay.
how I applied. And of course, before that, I checked whether this college has, how is the placement record, how is the college, and it was a new brand by then, like just 9 or 10 years old. And then I got into MBA. So my point is, yes, there was a thought in my mind that I should move out of manufacturing sector. But until I thought that, okay, I have to do MBA, I need to study for it. And then
Mhm.
situation came such that I was like, in my anger, I resigned. And then I was not left with any other option than to do MBA. So I'm not saying fall into that trap. Continue working and simultaneously study,
Okay.
and then see how things work out. And of course, then when I went into MBA, I was very, very grateful, because generally what happens is with working professional, when they move from working and going to MBA, they are on cloud nine, because they think we have work experience, we have money in the account, and then they take MBA more like a, oh, I just need to pass and get into place somewhere better with double the salary. For me, MBA was like a lifeline, and I loved studying it throughout. Placement was a byproduct during MBA.
Great. This again, this question is for a broader audience, like irrespective of any domain, biotech, pharma, biomedical, anyone can you know just seek your expertise in this. So sir, आजकल like ये थोड़ा सा question I'll try to फ्रेम इट इन दिस वे कि जो आज की जनरेशन है, लाइक जो एक फ्रेशर अगर कोई कंपनी ज्वाइन कर रहा है, सो उसको किन चीजों पर फोकस करना चाहिए, लाइक whether he will be solely he should be solely focusing on the learning part, or earning should be also a significant factor. First, like learning और earning पर कितना फोकस देना चाहिए. Second, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस, और वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस प्लस कि कितने आवर्स काम करना चाहिए, प्रोडक्टिविटी या फिर वर्किंग आवर्स, इन सब पर, क्योंकि ये नेवर एंडिंग डिबेट है. बिकॉज आजकल की जो जनरेशन आ रही है, लाइक व्हाट वी कॉल जेन जी जनरेशन, ठीक है, तो दे आर सुपर क्रिएटिव, सुपर क्यूरियस और बहुत पैशनेट भी होते हैं. बट उनका ये भी रहता है कि यार कि दे ऑल्सो दे आर फुल ऑफ लाइफ, जो कि होना भी चाहिए. दे ऑल्सो वॉन्ट टू परस्यू देयर पैशन. So because I wanted to understand from person coming, like from a person very senior to us, क्योंकि आपका क्या टेक है, क्योंकि आप अभी हर टाइप के लोगों के साथ काम कर रहे हो, अपनी एज के, हमारी वाली एज के, और जो अभी बहुत जेनजी क्राउड आ रहा है. तो पैशन को, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस को, वर्किंग आवर्स को, लर्निंग अर्निंग, ये सबको कलेक्टिवली मिला के आपका क्या से रहता है, और एक फ्रेशर को कैसे कैसे टैकल करनी चाहिए सारी सिचुएशन.
Yeah. So, Lavin, this is where I'll say be like Elon Musk and don't be like Bhavish Agarwal.
Okay.
What does this mean? आपके सवाल के पास जाता हूं मैं कि अर्निंग पे फोकस करना या लर्निंग पे. ओके, इलॉन मस्क ने लर्निंग पे फोकस किया है. हिज टेस्ला कार्स, हिज हाइपरलूप, एनीथिंग एंड एवरीथिंग व्हिच ही गेट्स आउट, एवरीबडी इज एक्साइटेड अबाउट इट. भाविश अग्रवाल आते ही उन्होंने पैसा कमाया बाय लॉन्चिंग उबर एंड ही अर्नड अ लॉट. देन ही स्टार्टेड फैक्ट्री फॉर डेवलपिंग टू व्हीलर्स. But what has happened over here? The first business, and again, no offense to anyone, first business was just a cab aggregator business. Second business, which Ola two-wheelers, they are actually imported two-wheelers from some European country. They were so bad that even the suspension जो था वो पैसे import करके लाया इंडिया में. Telescopic suspension नहीं था, which is needed in India. First Ola version of scooters doesn't even have those good suspensions. फिर अभी telescopic डाला है. And now, even on the Google Maps, whatever controversy is happening, that he's saying that I have made Google Maps for India, and then Map My India is coming and say, "Oh, you borrowed our API, or you've just taken our APIs." So, point is, when you are a fresher, your first focus should be learning. Money is bound to come in the coming years, if you have the right attitude and you have the right mindset to learn. By that, what I mean is, when you join a company, your focus should be how much can I learn? And that learning can happen, let's say your office is starting at 11 and it's ending at 9. Between 11 to 9, how much dedicated are you to work? Are you taking 3 lunch breaks and 5 tea breaks and 7 sutta breaks? Are you talking with your girlfriend or boyfriend for 3 hours during the break? And then at 9 p.m., when your manager says, "Can you do this today? You haven't completed a task." You spend 3 more hours and then you write, "Oh, my manager is making me work 15 hours or 16 hours." Dedicatedly focus 9 hours of efforts. When I say 9 hours, means out of that, actually, you can only spend 5 to 6 hours of focus efforts, and the rest 2-3 hours to communicate, to understand things. So 9 hours of dedicated work is important. That's the attitude with which you come. My grandmother used to always say, "अरे कितना मेहनत करवा लेते ये लोग मेरे बच्चे उनसे." That's the mindset which has killed India. When somebody is working 9 hours, they feel that their managers are like Britishers and they are taking a whip and making that person work for 9 hours. They are forgetting this point that we are not union laborers of my parent generation. We are here to learn. We are actually going ahead in terms of knowledge base. And that can only happen if this current generation spend that much effort in learning. So that's the point in terms of work life. Yes, have work life balance. Weekend, no work. Weekend, do whatever you want. Monday to Friday, either keep your morning reserved for your exercise or personal life, or keep your evening. बट डोंट से मॉर्निंग में भी मैं वॉक करूंगा, इवनिंग में भी मेरे को गर्लफ्रेंड को आइसक्रीम खिलाने लेके जाना है. सो दिस वन ऑफ द एसोसिएट इन माय टीम, वो बोलता है मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड 6 बजे वो छूटती है तो 7 बजे उसको आइसक्रीम खिलाने जाना है। आई सेड वेरी गुड। मैं तो मतलब आई डोंट हैव वाइफ, आई डोंट हैव किड्स, ते कोई गर्लफ्रेंड है, तू ही जा भाई शाम को। एंड मॉर्निंग ही विल लॉग इन एट 11 a.m. So don't have best of both the worlds. Have a
Cool.
balanced work life. Nowadays people only talk about balanced work life from their perspective. They don't talk about balanced work life which they can offer to the company. Are you actually then doing the work between 11 to 9 p.m.? No, you're not. You want balance there also, you want balance in your personal life also. This is where you will go downhill. So that's my one advice to the new generation. Monday to Friday, work not because you're making favor on your manager or the company, because you will learn. That's the only thing. Narayan Murthy, somehow everybody quoted him wrongly. 70 hours he's saying.
Mhm.
Just think of it this way. Narayan Murthy saying work in proportion to 70 hours. Because in India, when you say 70 means divide 70 by, reduce it to 60%, because that's our efficiency. So in reality, you're only working 40 hours. Baki time to aap time pass karte ho. Most of the folks, of course, there are exceptions who work very well, but most of them do this. So this is my one advice, that be passionate about your life, but be passionate about work. Be passionate to learn new things, and with time you will see the change. Learning is not a day's effort. I'll just
Mhm.
take a diversion quickly.
Mhm.
I never knew Excel before, and when I used to see the team members making big complex Excel workbook, I used to say aaj main karta hu, and I used to try to sit for 4 hours and try to develop it. When I didn't, I used to get frustrated and leave it. But later I realized that before these guys have come to this level, they have spent 2 years of their life in working in Excel. So if they are making it in 8 hours and I am starting today, I can't think of making it in 4 hours. So I need to be patient in terms of my learning, and that can't come at company's cost. I can't say मेरे को company को मैं आज 4 घंटा Excel कर रहा था. I need to stretch beyond my working hours to do the learning.
True. In complete agreement, sir. So sir, like moving on to our next question. Like post your, like your idea behind pursuing MBA, and was when you wanted to come and you wanted to go into the supporting role related to marketing, or let's say sales. You wanted to imbibe those skill sets as well. So like sir, like as I could see that you have also worked for, I believe, 2 to 3 years in as a senior technical marketer. So at KPIT, I believe, right? So sir, what was your what was that experience of 3 years, and how did it shape, and how what particular skill sets you acquired during this phase, and how did you apply your MBA learning during this job?
Yep. I'll go back to my engineering days. Biggest problem with engineers, or I'll say most of our graduates, is
Uh-huh.
that they come from 10th to 12th to graduation, and they have a mindset that I study, I write exam, and I am the topper. So if you see all this, I is the only factor.
Hmm.
During MBA, what I learned is it's not I, it's we. Because this 1 year MBA was so, I want to say brutal, but I was trying to hunt for a better word, but I didn't get it. It was so brutal that our college used to start at 8 a.m. Until 9 p.m., our lectures used to be there. After that, there was a team which was formed from the batchmates, that we were supposed to work and submit an assignment before midnight 12. If we don't, our marks would be cut and it will penalize us during exam. That was the trend. Now, what was worst was this team was selected by the college. Otherwise, during engineering times or graduation time, you do work in projects, but it's like, हाँ तू मेरा दोस्त है, तू मेरा दोस्त है. We form a team, and then it's like, अंधा काना बहरा सब मिलके काम कर रहे हैं. कुछ तो करके भेज दिया. प्रोफेसर ऑल्सो कर दिया कि क्या ही बोले इनको. मतलब प्रोफेसर इज लाइक, व्हाट डू आई टेल दिस टीम, हेल विद इट, go ahead. But
Hmm.
here the team was selected by the college, so we had 2 ladies and 3 of us, 3 guys.
Uh-huh.
Now, biggest challenge this happens with this is when you have a different gender in the team members. They have a different sort of working, and I being a very aggressive and very self, not I wouldn't say self-centered, but a person who liked his own ideas to take ahead. During engineering, I did that. So this was the biggest paradigm shift, because the team members just, Vivek, stop. That's not how we'll do. We'll do it this way. My ego used to hurt like anything. How can she say that to me? And I'm not a male chauvinist, okay? I'm just saying, how can you not think about my ideas? Like, even if a guy didn't take my idea, I felt this is such a good idea. Why aren't you taking? But then collaboratively, after 2 3 months of working like this in the team, I realized that the final product which is coming out, the final package or assignment, is much better than what I individually would have done. Or going back to my engineering team, although we were 5 people, most of the things were pulled by me and maybe one of my friends. So it was always unidirectional in the way we want. But here it was a collaborative effort. So what I want to say is, post my MBA, working in KPIT in the marketing team, I, of course, in MBA I learned it, but in the team marketing team, I learned this further, that it's not I, it's us, it's we. We succeed as a team and we fall as a team. And then, of course, in the team, you do better than others. And I'm not saying do it at the cost of others. Just put in extra effort. Team will also appreciate that. And your manager will also appreciate. And when the team wins, all of you go ahead. So that's the message I like to say, that yes, you need to have your expertise, but also don't think you're single. Even Narendra Modi now needs a team to drive this 5 years government.
True.
या लाइक ट्रू विवेक सर, लाइक ये क्वेश्चन बहुत ज़्यादा इंटरव्यूज में भी पूछा जाता है, स्पेशली इन एचआर एंड मैनेजरियल राउंड, कि अगर टीम कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स हो जाएं तो आप उनको कैसे रिजॉल्व कर सकते हैं. तो ऑल सो वी यूज्ड टू ऑलवेज से दैट द कंपनी गोल्स आर has more priority than the personal goals. So rightly said Vivek sir, like many of our viewers will get a right answer from this आंसर. तो सर मेरा यहाँ पे आपका क्वेश्चन है कि मतलब आपका डे टू डे आपका डे टू डे लाइफ क्या रहता है, मतलब कंपनी में आप क्या काम करते हैं?
Sure. तो सचिन, यहाँ पे क्या हुआ था, like when I was in KPIT, my work life started, or work started around 9 a.m. So 10 a.m. we used to reach office, and by 8 p.m. we used to log out. So that's how the work went. And during this time, we used to do maximum work. We had laptop. So coming home, if there was a presentation critical, I used to spend 1 or 2 hours. Sometimes, like once in 2 months, I used to like give away my weekend because there was some critical thing I had to do. And since it was a creative task, I did put in efforts. But then again, no manager forced me to do it. It was on my own accord to make things better. I'll give you one example over here. There was a presentation to be made for a very senior person, a senior VP in the company. And I did make a presentation which was approved. But then I felt there is something like a final touch is missing. And that's where I took inspiration from Maslow's pyramid, Maslow's hierarchy pyramid: food, clothing, shelter, and then love and all that. So I made one for intelligent transport system. It's like, how do you make your transport system intelligent? So for the base of intelligent transport system, you have sensors, you have network, you have hardware. Next layer is good programming. Third layer is, can there be insights and action? And the fourth layer can be how this is integrated and it is helping the people. So like this, one pyramid was made and put it in the slide, which was loved by the VP. This was not asked for. My presentation was already approved. But can you give that final touch? And here's where I'll give example. Three Idiots movie or Lagan movie or any Amir Khan movie, why they are so successful? He's not working from prescribed time of 11 to 8 only. He is thinking about it continuously. And then on some days when there is no shooting happening, he comes up with new ideas or thoughts, and those are incorporated. And that makes the movie even more insightful, more interesting to watch. So my work life, or my life, day-to-day life, is Monday to Friday. I ensure that personal work is very minimal. Either you outsource it to, luckily good part about India is that you can hire helps at a reasonable rate. So you can outsource those things. You have 10 minutes delivery. Your kids can use school vans, or in the morning time you can drop them. So like this, try to manage your work, give work as the priority. Weekend, keep it for family. Problem with people is that currently who are working from home, they prioritize everything first and then work comes next for them. And this is where the remote work is getting questioned, is getting stopped from our HRs, because by default we just abuse it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so like विवेक सर, जैसे आपने अभी बात करी थिंकिंग एबिलिटीज के ऊपर, तो हम ज्यादातर कोई भी चीज पढ़ते हैं तो हम उसको सिर्फ पढ़ लेते हैं, एग्जाम में राइट करके आ जाते हैं। तो एक इंडिविजुअल, एक प्रोफेशनल अपनी थिंकिंग एबिलिटी मतलब कैसे डेवलप कर सकता है और उसको कैसे इनहांस कर सकता है बाय पीरियड?
How to develop the thinking ability is actually now going into consulting phase.
यस।
So, as I said, engineering, then I did my L&T manufacturing stint of 3 years, जहाँ पे मैं सीखा कि how you do project management well, but लगा कि long term में मेरे को जो growth चाहिए, it's always subjective. It's always subjective. It didn't work for me. There are, of course, my team members who are doing absolutely good in L&T and they're very happy, and I'm very happy for them. I wanted something else. So I did my MBA. Then I worked for 3 to 4 years in KPIT in marketing team. Only challenge over there was every time. Again, ये अभी बोलने वाली बात है, इसलिए उधर बोलने की बात नहीं थी, but यहाँ पे बोल रहा हूँ that we had a very good office and there were 3 good meeting rooms. So my manager had, or the head of marketing had set a priority. Meeting room, if you have booked, but if it is a client call, in the sense, if there's a RFP meeting of some other team, they will get priority. Second priority will come to the project teams who has a client call. So first is if it's a sales call, second is if it's a client call, third priority is to the marketing team. I was like, अच्छा हम third आते हैं क्या priority में? Yeah, because we were in the support role. Again, everybody has their subjective opinion. I felt, why do I be in a support? Why should I be in support role? I want to be in the front end. And in many companies, marketing is the front ended. Okay, guys. So don't take me wrong. Like Hindustan Unilever, the marketing drives everything. Here, I felt the job which I was in, or the area which I was in IT sector, the primary focus is sales and then projects. Marketing comes secondary to that because it's not product. And when I was thinking continuously, from my B school, I heard about ZS Consulting, which was a company in Pune, and they offered very good packages. Like in my college, the average package was between 9 to 10 lakhs during my time, while ZS was offering upward of 20 lakhs. So that was somewhere there in my mind, because KPIT में था तब शादी हुई थी, and like वाइफ ने शादी होने के बाद देखा, अरे तुमने तो सैलरी इतना बोला था बट घर में तो बहुत कम आता है. I said that's the magic of CTC, and I had education loan also, तो वो और भी कम हो रहा था. So I did have in my back of the mind that I need to do switch, and that's where one of my senior, my batchmate, who was actually senior to me, because Great Lakes was a lateral entry college, so I had 4 years while he had 7 to 8 years experience when we were there. He had joined ZS right after KPIT. So I didn't approach him. I had approached somebody else 2-3 times during my KPIT stint of 2012 to 2015, but never it went to even HR coming back to me. But then one day suddenly I approached this friend of mine from college, and I said, sir, is there anything in ZS which can work out? I have marketing and sales experience, and ZS always says that they are a marketing and sales consultant. So he said, send in your resume, I'll see. And then when I sent resume, he said, hey, HR has seen it and HR should call you. And I was a person who has never failed into an interview. When I say never, means I am, of course, exaggerating. But most of the interview, if I go to interview phase, generally I get selected. That was the trend. So I was very happy. But then when I looked at ZS process of hiring, the first round is a case study round. And by case study, I mean there are papers in front of the interviewer wherein there are questions related to graph, data, interpretation. Second round, is a unstructured case study wherein there will be 30-40 pager case study or 20-30 pager case study, and you have to make sense out of it. You are given 45 minutes, and then you are supposed to make some sense out of it, prepare some charts, and then explain to the interviewer. And third round was what my type of round, which I generally don't fail. But problem was, to go to third round, I had to cross these 2 rounds. So this is where करे तो क्या करे. So luckily, when the HR called me, she said that, yeah, Vivek, we do have 2 weeks later round, so I can try over there. I said that's fine. So I had 2 weeks. So what I did over there was, since my job was there, which was going on, and I am not like, some very famous family leader in India of opposition party, कि if I leave this, I'll have somebody else to back me up. तो job तो करना है. मतलब ZS के पीछे भागेंगे हाथ का. I was in E-Info-Chips, then E-Info-Chips का भी job चला जाएगा. So I used to wake up at 4 a.m. until 7 or 8 I used to study. When I say study, means I was studying case in point and such case study books. Then from 9 to 4, 5 p.m., 6 p.m., I had my job. Then again, when I came home, I used to study for next 2 to 3 hours. This way, this entire 2 weeks went. And then came the interview round. So this is where what I want to tell the current students or the professionals who want to switch stream is that if you want to make a switch, you need to prepare. You just can't rely that I am already working in marketing and sales. Why the hell do I need any preparation? That doesn't happen. You need dedicated time to study and prepare for anything. So this is where, Sachin, going back to your question, that how do you learn? How do you study? Because when you are in 2-3 years in company, you forget doing mental exercise for your mind. You don't try to close your eyes and remember what was the entire slide deck content, because you feel, oh, everything is in the deck, why do I have to stress my brain? So most of the working professionals avoid this, and with time, the brain's ability to, or mind's ability to recall things, to learn things, goes away. So this is where, in this entire 2-3 weeks, I studied and I rehearsed and I learned well, which helped me to learn and train my brain to learn. Because see, I could have taken 2 days off before the interview and do it, but Rome was never built in a day. So like this, when you give 2 or 3 weeks for your mind to prepare, it goes into that inertia, which in 2 days it can't happen.
Okay, sir, my follow-up question here would be like you answered half of the question, that how did you make a switch, like second phase of our podcast, from the marketing and sales profile, you switch to business consulting profile in the ZS associate, and then later you move to pharma is. Okay, so but in this I have a follow-up question, uh, that you answered that one should keep on updating and evolving, and one should keep on doing mental exercises like recalling and studying and revision. But sir, what other parameters one should consider? जैसे कि वो क्या ट्रिगरिंग पॉइंट्स हो सकते हैं, या फिर क्या फैक्टर्स हो सकते हैं, कि मतलब जैसे एक पैकेज का एक हो सकता है, ग्रोथ भी हो सकती है, प्रोफेशनल मॉनेटरी ग्रोथ, बट उसके अलावा और क्या क्या इंपॉर्टेंट पिलर्स हैं, पैरामीटर्स हैं जो एक वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल को कंसिडर करने चाहिए डोमेन स्विच करते टाइम या फिर कंपनी स्विच करते टाइम? ये दोनों क्वेश्चंस आप बताइए प्लीज.
First is, I'll say, don't move away into a 180-degree different field. Like, let's say currently you are a IT developer, software developer. Don't aspire to become a FMCG marketing guy. This is like a suicide or harakiri, or during Japanese बोलते हैं ना harakiri, कि खुद के पेट में चाकू लेके घुमाओ और इधर उधर घुमाओ और बोलो कि अरे why am I not alive now, I am dying. Make logical switches. Think logically, what are your strengths and where can your current expertise be extended further. You're a good batsman who is hitting 4 and 6s. Don't start becoming a spin bowler from tomorrow. You will be miserable as a spin bowler, and you will lose also. Your team will lose because of it. So batsman में 4-6 मार रहे हो, how can you become better and maybe become a better fielder, because वो थोड़ा complementary field है. Bowling is a totally different. So that's the one advice which I'll give, that logically think. Package is secondary. When I moved from KP E-Info Chips, my package between Infosys and ZS did not increase a lot. It was just 15% hike. I didn't get the dream package which was told in my B school by ZS, because that time they were doing campus placement and there was long range performance bonuses, all that attached. While when I was making a switch, it was a lateral switch. So package became very secondary. What I saw is that I am currently into a support role, and ZS was offering me a project role wherein I was going to directly work on a project delivering things for the client. So this was going to evolve me into a person who was just a marketing guy, who was just a project management guy, which 90% of Indians are very good at. आप project management बोलिए, 90% of Indians can develop a good house. Marketing बोलो, 90% of Indians can sell you a good SIM card, even better than what real marketers of outside India do. So Indians by default are good at that, and don't develop that ability, like already have that ability. So don't try to cash onto it. Develop some expertise of your own, which ZS allowed me to do. When I was in project, by default, I had to learn things to deliver to client, which would be valued.
Okay. So, sir, moving on to another question कि जैसे आपको एवर्सना लाइक एवर्सना में ऑलमोस्ट 4 साल का एक्सपीरियंस होने वाला है, उससे पहले आपको फार्माइस और जीएस में ऑलमोस्ट 5 to 6 इयर्स का एक्सपीरियंस था. सो सर लाइक जो मेरा यहाँ पर क्वेश्चन है वो ये है कि आप अभी डेटा एनालिटिक्स डोमेन में हैं और बिजनेस कंसल्टिंग भी आपने करी थी जेडएस में. सो जो भी हमारे व्यूअर्स हैं, तो I would like to ask on their behalf कि एक फ्रेशर के पर्सपेक्टिव से, अगर if somebody is trying to establish themselves in the data analytics domain, or let's say business analytics, or let's say market research as a whole, so what career roadmap you would suggest to that fresher, and also what are the skill sets that he should start preparing from his let's say 3rd year of graduation or 4th year of graduation, जिससे वो एक अच्छी कंसल्टिंग कंपनी में खुद को एस्टैब्लिश कर पाए.
Yeah, sounds good, Lavin. From third year of ZS, I am interviewing associates, which are mostly freshers or with 1 or 2 years experience. So till date, I'll rate like something like I have interviewed maybe 400 to 500 candidates.
Okay.
But it's not just the interview. Since they join, I see their entire life cycle in the team, right from the time they join to 2 or 3 years or 4 years, wherein they either switch or they continue and they become like they get promotion and they move up ahead the ladder. So what I see, or what everybody sees during hiring for a fresher or a just 1 or 2 year graduate, is the depth. Do they have the depth? Is there a depth in their understanding? When somebody says, I know SQL programming, I will ask you 5 questions on that, and each question will be built on the first one. And can you answer those 5 questions? Like the way we have 5 W's: why, who, how, when. If you can answer those questions, that means you have some good expertise, and those are the candidates who are selected quickly. Problem is that of course, freshers will write SQL, Tableau, data analytics, R, Python, all the tools which are available in the world, they put it in their shop, which is a resume. But when any question is asked, they don't have any knowledge. They just have superficial knowledge. So my advice to each one of them is, yes, you learn everything, have that breadth, because you never know where it will be more, which one will be further asked for. But in 1 or 2 tools which are currently going very well in the market, like SQL and Python, I'll say, or Excel, these 3 tools, out of this, in like either SQL or Python and Excel, you need to have depth, that 5 why type of questions you should be able to answer.
Okay.
And second, going back to my previous point, attitude. Are you the one who is, if at 9 p.m. somebody calls you, hey, today is very bad day, client has asked to change this, will you say, मेरे को कुत्ता घुमाने लेके जाना है, which I got last week only, Vivek, मेरे को dog को घुमाने लेके जाना है? Or are you the one, Vivek? Give me 15 minutes. I'll have my quick dinner and I'm with you then, working with you. So how this comes is grandmother का जो thought है कि मेरे बच्चे को बहुत यहाँ पे काम करवा लेते हैं, बहुत शोषण करते हैं उसका, और you are in the mindset that I am learning for myself, and do you have that strong ego that मैं कुछ कर रहा हूँ, क्लाइंट ने क्वेश्चन किया है तो मैं क्लाइंट के सामने बैठ के आई रीडू इट अगेन टिल द क्लाइंट इज सेटिस्फाइड. हमारा ईगो ये रहता है, ये मेरे को 9 बजे फोन करके कैसे बोल सकता है काम करने. Have a good, very strong ego, but have it for your work rather than for questions.
ग्रेट.
या लाइक ट्रू सर. तो सर मेरा इसमें एक क्वेश्चन है, जैसे आप एक मैनेजमेंट रोल पे, एक लीडरशिप रोल पे है, तो आप अपनी टीम मतलब कैसे डिसाइड करते हैं आप किन तरह के लोगों के साथ आप काम करना चाहते हैं? मतलब आप एक पर्सन में जब आप हायर करते हो या जब आप अपनी टीम बनाते हो तो कौन सी क्वालिटीज आप देखते हो कि जो पर्सन के अंदर होनी चाहिए?
Yeah. So one is some depth in expertise area. क्योंकि आपको बोलूं सचिन, किसी में डेप्थ नहीं रहा ना, वो बंदा उधर ही पकड़ा जाता है. Some area you need to have depth. तुम सब जगह superficial रहोगे ना, then you are nowhere there. You are always superficial. And the deliveries or the products which you make are also going to be superficial. Which, sorry to say, I don't want to divert a lot, but Bajaj Auto 50 साल तक हमको वो एक स्कूटर बनाते ही घूम रहा था, बिकॉज कुछ डेप्थ ही नहीं था एक्सपर्टीज में. टाटा मोटर्स, आज तक टाटा मोटर ट्रक के चासी पे बस बना के बेच रहा है इंडिया में. Why for 50 years we never thought about developing better? Why? Because we are always superficial. We feel this is how things are. So what we see is, do you have depth? Can you come in the team and of course do the work, but also after a year, can you do some innovation? Can you do better things than what you were doing last year? So that's the first thing. Depth koi to ek field mein. Second is your attitude. And the third is clarity of thoughts, communications. In my previous company, I won't take name, but there was a very senior leader. Anytime we ask him any question, he had expertise in one domain area. Anytime we ask question, his answers used to say, it depends. It depends. अरे भाई, कभी तो हाँ या ना में जवाब देना. हमेशा, how can you say always it depends? So you need to take a stand. I think it is yes because of these things, no because of this thing. Don't take a middle way, it depends, and be neither here nor there. So communication and clarity of thoughts, yes, let's do it or let's not do it. So these are the three things which are seen, and the ones who practice this, that automatically comes into your interview. If you don't practice this interview में ना 10-15 मिनट max लगते हैं to catch the person, and then after that it's like, okay, thank you so much. And nowadays people are not even like, managers are not, don't even have time कि formality बोल के 30 मिनट तक continue करेंगे interview. Now it's like after 10 minutes, hey, doesn't look like it's a match. All the best for your job hunting.
Okay, good. Great to know, sir. So, sir, I believe this is going to be our last question, and then we can have a rapid fire round of roughly for 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so our last question, because sir, like from the last last couple of years, you are working closely in the pharma, healthcare, and biotech domain as well in Eversana Consulting. So, sir, अभी आपका क्या टेक है कि आने वाले फ्यूचर में कि हेल्थ केयर या मतलब हेल्थ केयर डोमेन में टेक्नोलॉजी और एआई का क्या रोल रहने वाला है, और एज अ एनालिटिक्स, लाइक अगर जो कोई स्टूडेंट है जो बी फार्मेसी कर रहा है या बी टेक कर रहा है बायोटेक में या जेनेटिक इंजीनियरिंग जेनेटिक्स में, तो वो इस एनालिटिक्स डोमेन को अपना करियर बना सकते हैं, और वो उसमें कितनी प्रोफेशनल और मॉनिटरी ग्रोथ है, आपका इस पर क्या टेक रहेगा?
Yeah. So Lavin, this is where now I'll come to the task that 11th, 12th, I had dropped biology. I joined ZS in 2015, which is like after 10 years of my professional career experience. And we were doing good on commercial analytics, which is data crunching, Excel based, SQL based, making presentations, making dashboards like on platforms like similar to Tableau or Power BI. That time we had MicroStrategy. But after 2 or 3 years, when I moved to Pharma Ace, it's a company which is very specific to pharma domain. And there, most of the hires were BPharm or Master of Pharmacy graduates. एंड दैट्स वेयर आई रियलाइज दैट मेरा तो बायो भी नहीं था, मतलब मेरे लिए हार्ट ही पता है और लंग्स पता है. व्हाट इज पैंक्रिया, वेयर एग्जैक्टली इज पैंक्रिया, हाँ पेट के आजू बाजू कहीं तो है पैंक्रिया. वेयर आर द यू नो व्हाट इज लिम्फेटिक सर्कुलर सिस्टम. आपने कुछ ब्लड का सर्कुलेशन सिस्टम पाई थी. लिम्फ क्या होता है और लिम्फ नोड क्या होते हैं. लिम्फेटिक कैंसर हैज मेटासाइज एंड स्प्रेड इनटू लिम्फ नोड्स. दिस वाज लाइक सर्किट एंड मुन्ना भाई टॉकिंग की बॉडी में 205 प्रकार की अलग अलग हड्डियां रहती, कभी तोड़ने से पहले हमने सोचा है. तो इट वाज लाइक दैट, एंड दैट्स वेयर आई फेल्ट आई नीड सम फॉर्मल एजुकेशन. एंड सॉरी टू से इट मे हर्ट सेंटिमेंट, बट ये यूट्यूब लर्नर जो है ना, यूट्यूब यूनिवर्सिटी वाले, that's the most wrong thing you're doing. Do a professional course from Udemy or Google or some proper thing, rather than just YouTube में जाके या Google पे सर्च करके दो तीन चीजें learn कर लो and don't do the basics, and then you say I know this tool or technology. So that's where I decided to get into a full-time diploma in pharmacy. As while I was working, the college was such that I was going in the first half and then working in the afternoon time. So when I did my diploma in pharmacy, I gained domain knowledge. As I said, lymphatic system, how does this work? Then how does a drug act in your body? अपने लिए ऐसे कि गोली खाली पेट में गई गई गोली, उसके आगे क्या होता है? We don't know. I didn't know that. So how does the tablet get dissolved in the stomach? Then from there it is absorbed in the blood. Then it goes into each of the body's cell. From the cell it is processed. Then cell wall will throw the residue out, and then it is passed through urea or through urine or through sweat or through stools. All this I could understand. And now what graduates should learn or do, where this industry is heading, is when I go onto Amazon and I buy a mic, I get a recommendation. People who have bought a mic will also buy a camera, USB camera. So retail and commerce industry has gone to that level. E-commerce I have covered, retail, then fintech. I can process loan from iMobile app of ICICI. It is to that extent. I don't need to go to any branch or anything. E-verification is happening. In pharma or life sciences, this is 20 years behind in terms of this technology. So now is a good time for all the new joiners to join the bandwagon of pharma industry. Why pharma or life sciences was behind is because over here, who is the payer? Who is the buyer? And who is the end user? It's all very subjective. Doctor writes the medicine, but the doctor doesn't get but the patient doesn't pay to the doctor. Patient pays the insurance company. Insurance company is driven by your employer who gives you insurances. Same way, doctor can't write, pharmacist who is there. Pharmacist can't give a medicine, although he has a shop, unless and until he has a prescription from the doctor. FDA comes into play. So all these stakeholders, and since it is question of life and death, there are many stringent regulations. There are many business rules which you need to understand before you apply a AI ML algorithm. So my suggestion to all will be master Excel. When I say master Excel means, can you put VLOOKUP and can you put index match formula? जब तक वो नहीं आता है तब तक सामने आके बोलना मत कि मैं एडवांस एक्सेल करता हूं. सीक्वल, जब तक तुम लेफ्ट अलाइन से ही पूरा क्वेरी नहीं करते हो, when I say left align means left join से, तब तक बोलना नहीं सीक्वल नहीं आता. You will say, oh, there is left join, right join, there is inner join. But with left join, can you develop the entire query? Because left join is used 80% of the time. Till then, don't say you know SQL. And same goes with a visualization tool. Just 4 dashboard graph लेके tableau पे फेंक दिए, that is not visualization. Visualization वो तो नरेंद्र मोदी भी करते हैं, हर बार जीडीपी ग्रोथ ही दिखाते हैं, बट जीडीपी ग्रोथ कहाँ हो रही है? I love नरेंद्र मोदी, by the way, I'm fan of him, but वो मतलब वो करते हैं. So और डोंट बी लाइक निर्मला सीतारामन कि उनको पूछेंगे टैक्स क्यों बढ़ा रहे, शी डजंट हैव आंसर, शी जस्ट सेज समथिंग सो ऑफ कि अरे कर क्या रही हो मैडम आप. तो पॉइंट इज learn SQL, Excel, Python well. When I say learn means you need to make a project out of it, put it on some online portal, and let people, like, proof of this is somebody has used your code and said thank you, this code has helped me. That is the proof you have done well. Just by attending a Udemy course of AI/ML doesn't make you AI/ML what do you call basic person also. So this is where my suggestion is: domain knowledge and the tool knowledge. Have this combination, then you see the change in yourself in terms of your learning, in terms of your job growth, and in terms of next rounds of interviews in other companies.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for sharing your expertise, domain knowledge, and so much to learn from your journey. So sir, this is like from your podcast only. Me and Sachin decided that, and it was Sachin decided that we should cover up, because this is a podcast. We can't be asking like for 1 hour. We can't be talking so much serious. So from today only we are trying to incorporate this 1.5 minutes rapid fire questions with our guest, to make things bit easier and bit on a lighter version. So sir, like it is going to be a 1 or like 5 to 6 questions I'll be asking, related to general general nothing related to technical knowledge or as such. Okay. So sir, my first question would be like your favorite food.
Puran pori, which is a Maharashtrian food.
Okay, favorite city with where you would like to settle down for the rest of your life.
It's Pune.
Okay, favorite hill station.
Mahabaleshwar and Shimla.
Okay, okay. Favorite beach in India.
It's any Konkan beach on the Konkan side of Maharashtra.
Okay, your 3 countries in your bucket list.
US. I love US. Is it okay if I take a minute extra?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No worries, no worries.
Okay. Yeah. So during my B school, it's in Chennai, there was an argument regarding LTT. Somehow it started the question, professor had asked question, and then the Tamil students were very serious. They become very serious and sensitive. You don't know what happened when Sri Lankan army killed LTT chief, and then they looted that entire province. They raped many ladies, and it's very bad. And they were very, very emotional. And the other party, other students were arguing that yes, LTT chief was to be killed. He had done so much of atrocities during previous times and all that. So this heated debate was there. So that time one of my friend, she raised her hand, she's from an IT sector, and she said, why are we even talking about Sri Lanka? They don't even outsource anything. We should talk about US is outsourcing entire, like, most of the work, and we should be more aligned with USA. And that's where I first heard about USA. I didn't even thought about ever going to USA. But then when working in IT sector and then working in ZS, I'm in love with US. I love India, and that's why I've consciously stayed back in India, although 2-3 times I did have opportunity to move out there permanently. But what I love about US is their mindset. Think big. If you have seen Inception movie, when they're in the first layer of dream, there's this one person who is shooting with a small gun for to the enemies who are behind a transformer. Then the other guy comes with a big gun and just shoots. It's like a rocket launcher, and he says, when you think big. So that's the mindset which USA has. And think big, they do it. And second is, when you work between morning 8 till 4 a.m., those guys will work as if there's no tomorrow. There's no, not even a tea break. They get the tea at the desk and they drink coffee. I'll say coffee at the desk and they drink. To learn this from them. And even if a, like 20-30 years experienced person, senior person, will be taking things in hand and developing something or writing a code, while in India a 3-year experienced guy will say, मैं मैनेजर हूं, मैं ये काम नहीं करूंगा मेरे हाथ से, I have 3 people to do it. So that's the sad thing about India. हमको सिर्फ आउटसोर्स करना है, इटली से स्कूटर लाके इंडिया में बेचना है जबरदस्ती का मार्केटिंग करके, एंड बोलना है मैं ओला हूं. So yeah,
Okay,
so that's where
one was
favorite
USA.
country, yeah, favorite bucket list is USA, and of course Europe is the second one, and the third one is Nepal, mainly
Okay.
because of all the Himalayas and the history which is there in Nepal.
Okay, sir, your favorite sport that you love playing.
I love playing cricket. It's favorite, but due to this Olympics and the way most of the Indian athletes have played. Hockey is the next one, and of course I did watch Neeraj playing the javelin throw.
Javelin.
So hockey, cricket, hockey, kabaddi, love it.
Favorite sports person, all time favorite athlete, sports person.
It's a very tricky question, but the favorite sports person, if I ever put, I'll put it as Rohit Sharma. Although there are many before him also, but I'll say Rohit Sharma and Kapil Dev. And two reasons for this. Kapil Dev, when you watch this recent movie, of course, we heard a lot about him. And I did see him play during 96, 97, but he was on the fag end of his career. Why Kapil Dev? Because during that time, he was the person who believed we can win. And made it, he inculcated that in the team that, yes, we will win the World Cup. You see this Ranbir Kapoor's movie,
Yeah.
1983.
Yeah.
एंड सेम गोज विथ रोहित शर्मा कि वो हंस खेल के उन्होंने जीता है मैच. दिस एंटायर T20 आई वॉच्ड,
True.
even in match versus Pakistan, if I'm not wrong, which was very close. Then match with, if I'm not wrong, another team before South Africa, very close, very stressful. But Rohit was always smiling, and वो situation tense था, but वो हंस के कर रहे थे. So that's where Kapil Dev and Rohit Sharma, because that's how everyone should be in India. India में मैनेजर बन गए तो लगता है कि मेरे गुलाम हैं, and we literally shout, yell, and treat the subordinates like shit. We should not do that. Work as a team. Everybody's team member everywhere. Stress will be there. So yeah, Rohit Sharma and Kapil Dev.
True. And sir, your favorite company among all the companies that you have worked so far?
यार तुम फायर करवाओगे यार करंट जॉब से. my my favorite company is ZS. It's my first love.
Okay.
ZS ensures that along with your along with your skills and talent, do you have the right cultural fit? Are you culturally fit, and do you have the right attitude? Humility, teamwork. These are the two things ZS prouds itself on. At least during my time, it was there. Wherein, when you go there, and even if I'm 5 years in ZS and I ask a question, oh, this, how do I put the formula? Nobody will say, अरे 5 साल से यहाँ पे क्या कर रहा है तू? And in my previous job, this was what was told to me many a times. अरे तू तो 3 साल से ना, तेरे को ये नहीं आता अब तक. Not that. Everybody is learning. Everybody should, work together and support each other. So humility and teamwork is the key. ZS had it through and through. And on the lighter side, I'll say that till my ZS time, whenever I used to talk scientifically, girls used to lose me totally. They used to feel kya baat kar raha hai. ZS was the only place wherein the team members, like we had team members, they used to understand everything. On the contrary, what they used to talk, I didn't understand. So that was the level of talent in ZS, which I still love and I still miss. And the comradeship. So that's why again and again insist, the world has moved. Now plumber की तरह मत रहो कि मैं इसको plumbing सिखा दूंगा तो कल मेरे को job नहीं मिलेगा. It's like the more you teach, the more you learn, the more you grow together. Your network, your friend circle, your team members will be that much strong.
Yes. So that was it. That was it from our side, sir. So I've just take a minute to reiterate all the learnings that I have taken from this session, and and I will just take a minute to reiterate all the major takeaways of this podcast session. So हमने सर की जर्नी से यही सीखा कि यार आपको continuously like at the age of like at mid-30s सर ने डिप्लोमा किया because सर का यही philosophy थी कि यार लाइफ में कभी we should never stop learning, and we should never stop evolving and updating ourselves. तो जो एक attitude होता है, like he has taken more than 400 interviews throughout his career, professional career. तो जो एक राइट पर्सन है उसमें एटीट्यूड का कितना उसका एटीट्यूड बहुत ज्यादा रोल प्ले करता है उसकी डेवलपमेंट में. इसके अलावा सर ने ये भी बताया कि जब हम अपना करियर स्विच करते हैं, एक प्रोफाइल से दूसरी प्रोफाइल पे जाते हैं, या फिर एक ऑल टुगेदर हमें किस किस पैरामीटर्स का ध्यान रखना चाहिए वाइल मेकिंग अ करियर स्विच. इसके अलावा कि टीम वर्क की कितने ज्यादा सिग्निफिकेंट रोल है, प्लस जो भी आजकल फ्रेशर्स आ रहे हैं उनको क्या चीजें क्या स्किल सेट्स को एक्वायर करना चाहिए, प्लस जो सीनियर मेंबर्स हैं जिनके पास एक ऑथोरिटी है, पावर है, वो उन्हें उस पावर का मिसयूज नहीं करना चाहिए, और एज अ कलेक्टिव टीम की तरह हमें, चाहे हम सीनियर हैं, मिड लेवल पर हैं, सीनियर लेवल पर हैं, हमें एज अ टीम काम करना चाहिए और एक दूसरे को अपलिफ्ट करते हुए चलना चाहिए. सो दैट वाज ऑल what I have learned from your journey, and from your words of wisdom, sir. And it was an honor for me and Sachin to have you, and a person like you having more than 15 years of experience working in all the big MNCs of India, and of other companies like L&T, Eversana, ZS. So so good to have you, sir.
Same here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you
Have
so
a
much.
nice day. Bye bye, sir.